Inez, have you come back for a tune-up? I've got just the injection for that. Freezes those pesky muscles right back into place.
No, yeah, a tune-up sounds good.
I got a device that might help stabilize what I got going on up on the shoulder. Ought to let me use my graft all the more often. Think you can install it?
Oh, well, this device is unusual and rather ingenious, if I may say so. Hold still, dear. This should take but a moment. There. I dare say you won't be needing any tune-ups in the near future. But I do trust you'll find an excuse to come by for the occasional visit. Where did you find such a device, anyhow? What is it, dear? You look, well, a bit like you've been stung by a terror ray. I've got ointment for that too, you know. Whatever do you mean? The program was shut down more than 6 months ago. Any further funding would be in direct violation of Auntie's orders.
It was off the books, Doc. We found a grafting lab way out on Cloister, still operational. Oh, I ain't seen horrors like that in my life. They were brutalizing folk and creatures, paying them no mind, giving them no honor even if they succumbed to the process. The doctor there, he killed a friend of mine. And you're telling me you knew nothing of it?
Inez, I swear I didn't. That sounds... Oh, Sovereign's mercy, that sounds precisely like what I would protest with every breath.
The creatures they were experimenting on broke out of their cages, killed most of the staff. But you know what's worse? Keeping a dead soldier's body on display. Like a thing. I found the doctor in charge, still alive, cowering. I killed him, and let his sick aims die along with him. There's no good that can come of his work. Nothing.
But this ain't the extent of it, I fear. I need to find out who's responsible for all that.
Oh, Inez, I know you do. But with the program officially shuttered, it would be awfully difficult to ascertain which individual has the pockets to fund such a... Wait. Yes, that does shed light on a correspondence I received recently. A vice president sent a message asking for my presence and scientific expertise to discuss a unique opportunity. I found the secrecy odd at the time, but I do suppose it lines up with your discovery.
Ain't surprising. What's his name? Where can we find him?
His name is Willard Conan, VP of Experimental Operations. The very man who was in charge of the grafting program at its inception. He's... Oh, I know that look. If you mean to do something, I beg you.
Doc, with all due respect, what I do with him when I get there is my own damn business.
I will help you. Vice President Conan's office is aboard the Undisputed Claim, the flagship of Auntie's choice. I do not know where exactly, as I've never been, but it's my understanding that you will need to present this calling card to gain entry. Inez, all I ask is that you remain safe. A terrible wrong has been done, but do not throw your life away to right it. You might seek justice via other means.
I can't promise anything, Doc, but I'll try. Thank you for everything.
Look like we're headed back to the flagship then.
Have an update about that personal matter. Back at Winter's Grasp, I found someone was continuing Anaïs, Sir Bujold's research. Believe I have a lead on their identity. I wholly agree. I pieced together information from earlier leading to Golden Ridge on Dorado. Oddly enough, to the anchor hold at Matriarch's Mercy Monastery. I had Val set the location on our map. I recognize we're juggling multiple crises, but I'd suggest we journey there sooner than later. May the plan...
Okay, we'll check that out too then.
Commander, I've been thinking.
Can I bend your ear a moment? We got the intel we need, Commander. The Undisputed claims our destination. When we find Willard and stop this law-damned program in its tracks, Auntie's Choice will get what's coming to them. Been doing some thinking about ending the grafting program for good. It's gotta happen. I just didn't think it would start this way. With me turning murderer. Auntie had me good and fooled. She ain't any better than Spacer's Choice. Making any of them see reason is an impossibility. Our overlords had a saying in Tau Ceti. If you got a rabid canid, you put it down before it maddens the whole pack. They used to say it about us workers, like we were the problem. It was terrifying. But now, I reckon I see some sense in that saying. Retribution never came for the folk at the top back then, but it certainly can now. Good thing I've already gotten started then. I wonder if this is what Ortiz had in mind when he sent me that message. He trusted my judgment, knew I always aimed to do right by him and folk everywhere. But he also knew both of us had been lied to when we joined up. The notion that our taking extraordinary risks would pay dividends. Do you think he knew this would be the final straw? Yeah? I'm gonna cling to that notion for a while, if you don't mind. Maybe this is what folk mean by the architects setting things in motion. If I hadn't broken my contract, I wouldn't be here. Maybe proving myself was never the intention. Maybe this is what I was meant to do. Suppose we're fixing to find out.
Zero G whiskey. This'll get you in.
Commander, I'm glad I managed to intercept you before we left. There's something at the forefront of my mind that I'd care to discuss. I received a message from a close friend of mine, Virgil. He was my co-protege under the Supreme Arbiter. His message claimed he had information relevant to the Supreme Arbiter's death. He wishes to meet with me at the Vox Relay on Paradise Island. I did not mention it before, but believe it may be necessary to avoid shocking you later. Our greatest suspect in the death of the Supreme Arbiter is the Protectorate's consul. I suspect you refer to the relay's recent launch. Virgil likely expects to meet with us at the base of the facility. It does seem a strange place to have a reunion, but I trust Virgil has his reasons. I doubt they've anything to do with the perfidy that recently occurred there. Very good. I hope we shall see him at your earliest convenience. I feel this shall most certainly set our investigation into motion.
Okay, I guess we're not leaving planet just yet.
Stop right there, Arbiter Rao. Though I am here on official business, I would prefer to keep this cordial. The Consul seeks answers related to your recent activities. I approach you openly in the hopes that you will comply with his request and come with me peaceably.
What do you blather about? Delay me and you will pay the price. Not only do I have more pressing business with a colleague, but I do not answer to Sentinels or the Consul.
Your friend is wise. I constructed the message that drew you here. Virgil shall not be arriving. I recommend you lay down your weapons.
Virgil's not coming, you say? Curious. And here I was thinking I was already present.
Virgil! Touting your flair for the dramatic, even now, I see. But I fear our reunion must wait until we've dealt with this pawn of the Consul.
I had not expected a third party, but it is so much the better. I'm afraid you must come with me as well, Arbiter Montag.
A sentinel demanding anything of me? What madness! Neither Tristan nor I shall accompany you anywhere. Any attempts to force us shall be met with violent reprisal.
Suffering the ignobility of retreat from my duties is as severe a crime as defection. Both of these arbiters can attest to that.
Beware what you say. These sentinels deal in trickery and subterfuge. It would be safer to kill him than to discuss his surrender. This fool impersonated my credentials, triggering a system alert that led me here. A lowly deception, even for one of the Consul's own.
It was a necessary deception, and one not undertaken lightly. Its aim was to draw your colleague here without bloodshed, for I know he would not have arrived at my request.
Your explanation does not pull my heartstrings, Sentinel. Yet you at least had the sense not to assail us outright. Surrender, and perhaps you may yet live.
You may not believe me, but I have much admiration for the work you and Arbiter Montag have done for the Protectorate. I've no wish to fight. Enough loyal subjects have died in this war. Come willingly and peaceably, I beseech you.
Perhaps you're right. No conversation can be had with a lackey of the Consul. Sentinel! I accuse you of impersonating a senior arbiter and threatening to unlawfully incarcerate another. I find you guilty on all counts. Prepare for absolution!
I had dearly hoped your refusal to meet the Consul was not rooted in traitorism. But it seems I was wrong. If you expect I should roll over and die, you'll be sorely mistaken.
Ready to dispense judgment! My thanks and my hammer.
Resolving the situation directly was the proper move. I shudder to imagine what that sentinel may have wrought unchecked. Did you find anything upon his body?
We did. It seems he was looking into the Supreme Arbiter's death. He sought to follow a lead on one Oculus collating post after confronting us here.
What? That can't be. Why would the Consul look into his own crime? He must be seeking a patsy. Or this is a convoluted attempt to lure us into a trap.
The Consul expected us to kill his agent, loot the body, and thus prepared a trap for us elsewhere? Convoluted is certainly the operative word. We must investigate. Yes, but never for long, and it's been many years. I also have no recollection of any hidden room, so we may have some hunting to do. I regret we've not had more time to talk, Virgil. It has been ages.
Worry not. I'm certain we'll have plenty of time to converse when you've finished your investigation. I have several leads of my own to pursue, as a matter of fact. Until our paths cross again, my friend.
That is strange. No, back to the ship.
Those fools! Protectorate subjects should know better than to attack a Protectorate arbiter. I had no choice but to judge them as traitors to the Protectorate. Why would they simply open fire? Why wouldn't they attempt to conversate? Once they saw myself, they should have disengaged, owing to my presence on official arbiter business. Their sloppiness resulted in their deaths. The fault lies purely with them. I shall continue to answer slights of this nature through violence. But hopefully, I shall not need to do this more than a few times. I've only visited Oculus Collating Post a handful of times, and that was long before its deprecation. But something is to be found there, I'm sure of. I recall this place. These stations have been automated since my day, though this one has certainly accrued dust. Odd that it would be in a state of lockdown. I have a general override that should allow us entry, but anything specific to local systems, including security systems, may be beyond me. These security measures should not be operational, and the station seems to be on reserve power. We'd best tread carefully.
Whoops.
I recall this place. These stations have been automated since my day, though this one has certainly accrued dust. Odd that it would be in a state of lockdown. I have a general override that should allow us entry, but anything specific to local systems, including security systems, may be beyond me. These security measures should not be operational. The station seems to be on reserve power. We'd best tread carefully.
inception of our new line of listening posts, I've heard some muttering that this outpost no longer requires the presence of its dutiful tenders, and that we shall all soon find ourselves replaced with automated systems and sent to serve the predictor elsewhere. Here, docking log purged. Now, why was it purged?
Well, no one is here, lying in ambush. Perhaps some strange systemic error activated the entryway defenses. We'd best first report to security ops. Lift this lockdown. From there, we can set about reactivating the station's primary power, which will allow us to explore... A footprint in the dust? This station shouldn't have received visitors in years. Be on guard. Someone else may be here. My passcode shall not work on this terminal. Unlocking it may be a creative endeavor. Activating that terminal sealed the room. We can search for the password to proceed, or, I suspect, triggering the defenses will do the same. Your decision, Commander.
Emergency protocol syringes prime.
The trailer locked down. We may now reactivate the station in the reactor. The reactor activation circuits shall likely be dysfunctional. It's a known issue with these old stations. Let me look. Corroded transistors, dust in the actuator. Did a sprat gnaw on this? Sweet sovereign, what a mess. There. I think I have it. Let us hope my override does not trigger any security alerts. Good. This should avail us of a much simpler search. Let us return to the central room once more and see if anything seems out of place.
To battle! Influences confirmed.
Unleash my might upon them!
Commander's vital signs have reached an alarming level.
Well, shit.
Good. This should avail us of a much simpler search. Let us return to the central room once more and see if anything seems out of place. Taking punitive action!
Defending initiative at a desk.
Be wary for anything that may be a clue to the hidden room's location.
There we go. It's over here.
There. I'm certain of movement below.
Passcode is Limber. No. Let's try Amulet. No. Wingtip. No. Sovereign's Gavel. I should remember this. Damn it. Ambergris can't be it. That's too short for a facility like this. Wait. Oh, no.
Of the strategies of feigning innocence I have seen, this is certainly the most pathetic. I accuse you of trespassing upon the private domain of the Sovereign. For these crimes... Wait, I know you. Luther Okada? What in blazes are you doing here? And why do you wear a Sub Rosa uniform?
Because I work for Sub Rosa? More than that, I don't think I can say, Cadet Rao. Mostly because I'm not supposed to, but also because I can't remember.
I knew this man when I was still a cadet. Okada is, or was, a petty troublemaker, though a crafty one. As cadets, Virgil and I apprehended him often. Sometimes Virgil let him go, but he usually went to mental refreshment.
Often enough to know the technicians by name. Until I forgot them again.
This truly is no ploy. But mental refreshment is supposed to return wayward subjects to the proper path, not cause... whatever this is. Despite his faults, the Okada I knew was ultimately benign. But the fact remains that he now trespasses in a secure facility. Duty dictates that I must execute him. That's a wise path. One that shall give me time to contemplate what must be done.
An Arbiter used the word execute in the last few seconds, yet I remain alive? Didn't think that was possible. I was sent here to do a specific job, but some of the details are hazy. Gives me conniptions. I was hired by an anonymous third party. They provided me with the station's location and credentials to bypass its defenses. May have tripped a few on my way here. Can't recall. I was told the station was abandoned, which it clearly isn't, and to break into this terminal and delete the information on it. That is all I know. I don't even know the name of this station.
Ignorance does not excuse criminal action. Even if you did not know the severity of this infiltration, it remains a deadly serious infraction.
He and the other one must have put me away close to 12 times each. I used to be something of a ne'er-do-well.
Ne'er-do-well is a polite term. He was a repeat malefactor. I believe last time we met, he'd vandalized a janitorial automech in an attempt to make it spew profanity.
I got 18 months of hard labor for that. Served me right.
As much as I'd prefer not to admit it, you may be right. Whoever hired him must not have known about his addled mind. They were moving quickly, desperately.
I didn't used to be like this. I can still sneak with the best of them. Not being able to remember doesn't make me any worse as an agent. It doesn't.
Any of my fellow arbiters would have killed you before this conversation began. But I can't decide whether to disdain or pity you. I don't know that I can. He is a trespasser. His slipping mind matters not. My duty dictates it. Killing Okada may not affect the one who hired him, but his trespass is an indelible fact. He should not be here. That doesn't mean anything. An arbiter cannot trespass. And even if I could, I still act with the Protectorate's best interests in mind. Not out of some base self-interest. Were the situation different, perhaps I could look the other way. But Okada has clearly defected, and is thus not afforded such a luxury. It is fortunate you have gained my trust, or I would not bend to one who had not. Justice must serve a purpose. Okada may live, and I hope we shan't regret it. Be gone. You've been granted your final stay of execution. Should our paths ever cross again, you know what will occur.
I didn't think this would happen. Thank you, Cadet Rao. My apologies for all the strife I caused over the years. And you. Without you, I would have been reduced to my composite parts. Here, take these. I suppose you'll have more use for them than I, in my present state.
Allowing a Sub Rosa agent to leave with his life in the heart of a Protectorate station. We may have to speak on this further. But let us see what we came here for first. The hint pertaining to the passcode on that terminal, I believe I know the answer. It is contained in a phrase the Supreme Arbiter drilled into our heads for many years. Our work at the refugee camp did not slake your investigative hunger? I doubt you'll be able to surmise it exactly, but come even close, and I shall be impressed. For myself, the Supreme Arbiter, and Virgil especially, if judgment is the Arbiter's gavel, what is the Arbiter's scalpel? Not quite, I'm afraid. An Arbiter's gavel is judgment, and an Arbiter's scalpel is analysis. Try entering that.
Deletion. Message to inform you of recent casualty estimates from arbiters in the last year of fighting. We lost several thousand of Arcadia's finest. This doubles those losses in the first 2 years of fighting together. Each subject taken from us by Protectorate's enemies has been revenged 100-fold, but the losses continue to mount. You know that whatever pain I feel is only a fraction of that you feel for the losses of your people. Just as I know. Councilman requested a meeting with me in personal quarters on Praetor. It's as if he can sense when I am both at my busiest and least interested in seeing him. The execution he broadcasted of those captured exemplars was barbaric. Were these not once our siblings? Could we not have at least interrogated them, broken them perhaps, and pressed a few back into the Protectorate service? Okay. Expecting necessary to return to this occasion after its automation. Sovereign is assured his central control is perfectly safe. This should be my secondary office. Hearing about like an insect is immensely dishonorable, but if I am killed, I shudder to imagine what would become of my arbiters. "37 arrests, total 6 executions," listening to Viscount Virgil saying, "Council's mustache looks like a red worm." Okay. Disappointed at the lack of tact, I'll need to be severely reprimanded, should know better than to say that when it could be so easily heard. He's not the only one in need of discipline. Tristan's anger is on a tight leash. His observational human is impressive, but he misses details in high-stress situations. He needs to be a better master of himself. Virgil, for his part, keeps steady in dire situations, but he lacks iron. There should have been at least 12 executions this week, but Virgil balked each time he was alone. Perhaps he can gain some of Tristan's mettle. Perhaps Tristan might learn some of Virgil's self-control.
From that terminal, it sounds as if the Supreme Arbiter had some sort of business with the Consul. To what end, I wonder? The tone of her response seemed relaxed, but I do not believe she would have met with the Consul unless she had no other choice. And that feckless agent. I don't understand his aim or who he would be working for. Only the Consul. But the Protectorate does not ally itself with Sub Rosa. What could Sub Rosa want with one of our abandoned stations? How could they have known there was anything of note here? Seems this is a question worth continuing to pursue. Well, at least we found what we needed on the Supreme Arbiter's terminal. I only hope whatever awaits us at Central Control is less tumultuous. As for Okada, I'm not sure what to think. My decision to allow him to go free was at odds with all I have been taught. He was a traitor and should have died. Yet, I cannot help but feel strangely justified. My role does not allow for mercy. I am supposed to uphold the Protectorate's laws. How can I claim thus if I allowed a traitor to go free? To me, there cannot be. That is, there isn't. That's not possible, and I cannot afford to think of it as such. Altogether, I think visiting this station was fruitful for my ultimate task. Hopefully, we'll grow ever closer to discovering the Supreme Arbiter's true killer. And, circumstances aside, I appreciate your accompanying me here, Commander. It would appear our next stop is Praetor, specifically Central Control. I look forward to traveling there, once you've sufficiently prepared. Potentially. In the past, the locale was shared equally between us Arbiters and the Consul's Sentinels. However, considering the traitors crawling throughout the rest of Arcadia, I fear what duplicity the Consul may have wrought at Central Control. Excellent. I look forward to it.
Trinicular. Arriving any moment now. Approaching station. Head
Commercialism
office
is the
tower.
foundation that Auntie's Choice Society is based upon. Not be... We allow you to take part in public product testing, respecting your right to risk a few pesky side effects as an early adopter. At Auntie's Choice, we are...
It's high time one of you scientist types responded to my calling cards. The position's been open for more than 2 days, and already productivity is tanked by 149.4%. You want the role, it's yours, but I'm not budging on those hourly rates.
Let me guess. You're backfilling Rasmussen's position? Or all the scientists who work with him on Cloister lying cold on the lab floor?
Both, obviously. Unless you mean to tell me a graft like yours can install itself. Now, do you want the job or not? We're burning starlight. I presume that's not a euphemism for talent scouting? But you're wasting your time. Continue with this thuggery, and all the guards on this ship will be on you in moments. I'm not sure I want to talk this out with would-be murderers. Who are you? What do you want?
I do. Been waiting on this moment. This grafting program is a law-damned abomination. I went to your lab on Cloister, saw for myself what kind of depravity your folk got up to there. It's sick. My friend was butchered by Rasmussen. And he wasn't the only one. In fact, this program's been a sham from the start. I got tossed aside. And for what? A mistake? Ain't nothing good that's come of this. It's time to call it quits.
What a preposterous notion. Shall we stop producing inhalers because of side effects? Or shut down all food factories because one severed appendage finds its way into packaging? No, certainly not. I am not to blame for whatever inconvenience you experienced as a first edition patient. To quit now would be to toss aside all our progress. Nonsense. I have myriad data at my disposal to dispute such a claim.
Don't matter to me what your plans are, or what you think you might accomplish. You've hurt too many good folk, and I've had enough.
I fear you've gotten too negative an impression of this work. Hear me out, will you? Allow me to assuage those fears. My mind is not entirely consumed by capital, I assure you. It's also consumed with professional pride and self-preservation. We cannot speak of sensitive business details here. There's no telling which opportunistic colleague or overpaid contractor could be listening in. They would ruin me. Ruin me! Meet me in back deck steerage. Take this pass for the tram. And for law's sake, make sure no hanger-on follows you. Especially that assistant of mine next door. Chin up, dear. I believe I'll change your mind yet.
We'll see. Seen this song and dance from all manner of suits before.
Oh, here goes nothing. Can't have to feel though that we're walking into an ambush.
Tramicular. Arriving.
We're walking into an ambush.
Approaching station. Back deck steerage.
Ah, you came. Foolish, aren't you? Thinking I'd reveal my secrets to the likes of you. Ah, contractors, now's your chance.
Unfriendly company. They're mine.
It might sting. Oh, well, perhaps still a bit.
Either restore my life or avenge my... Not quite charged yet.
I'm alive.
I knew you'd come through, my good Biff. That discount will be applied to your next purchase at the commissary, but cannot be combined with other... Ah! You! You're still alive!
Ain't gonna be that easy to get rid of us, you idiot. This how you treat all folk who approach you in good faith?
No folk have ever made it this far. How did you get past all my contractors? They were heavily trained and heavily expensive. Whatever for? I've never met a problem I couldn't throw a bit cartridge at. So what's your price?
Don't you get it? We don't want your money, you sprat fucker.
Enemy spotted.
He really thought he could fight us off. Damn fool. But this ain't over yet. Once news of Willard's departure gets out, there'll be dozens of rung climbers jockeying for his place and to steal his legacy for their own. Which means they can continue his bastardization of a grafting program and make it all the worse if they so choose. Ain't about to let that happen. Well, ain't that a complete about-face? You agreed with me on Cloister that nothing good can come of this. I need your help. It's obvious he was up to his neck in some scheme. If we dig it up and get the word out, his legacy'll be in shreds. Maybe folk will be less inclined to follow in his footsteps. All right. We ought to see if he's got anything of note on his person, and then his office. Any evidence we can find, once we got what we need, we can head to the recording studio to get the word out. The promise of a scandal should be enough to get in the door.
You know, this game has a distinct lack of music. Don't know why.
Any moment now. Approaching
Always Remember, commercialism is the foundation that Auntie's Choice Society is based upon. Not because we worship bits, but because of the system's glorious efficacy, while the Protectorate...
I see you decided to accept my invitation. Good. I do hate having to follow up. Ordinarily, reception here would detain you in a whole song and dance, but you're no common contractor. You're my honored guest. And as such, I've informed them there's no need.
Who are you?
I wanted to formalize my gratitude for your assistance on Greater Tranquility Station. What a shame our negotiations were so violently digressed. We were making progress, bumpy though it was. While making our expeditious retreat from the station, Alden and I encountered a dying man, one of the Order radicals in league with our would-be assassin DeVries. He confessed DeVries' entire plan, and that he thought you must have stopped her. Thanks for that, by the way. 2 dead delegates really would have impeded negotiations. In fact, that is what I summoned you here to discuss. Some messages have indeed been sent hither and thither through back channels. Alden remains convinced an agreement can be reached, and I concur. Mayhaps we're both overly optimistic, but if there's even the remotest chance of bringing the Order and Auntie's Choice together, the profit from doing so far outweighs the risk. With Auntie's Choice as its partner, the Order need no longer concern itself with the vulgarity of production, and can instead focus on experimentation and progress. Yes! All Auntie's Choice requires is the ability to package, market, and sell its inventions, first to Arcadia, and then to the larger galaxy once this Rift business is resolved. I assure you, Auntie's Choice will maintain a very laissez-faire approach into Order business. Let's just say the Order and Auntie's Choice speak a shared language. Numbers. Any reticence can be overcome if the math is attractive enough. If they partner with us, it's only a matter of time before they come to see that profits are a more tangible proof of progress than those unquantifiable theories they get lost in. To begin, you'll need to gain favor with both the Order and Auntie's Choice. I expect the Order will want you to, I don't know, clap some chalkboard erasers together or something. Do whatever you must to earn an audience with our respective leaders, and convince each to agree to meet and continue the negotiations. Imagine the benefits of having both the Order and Auntie's Choice at your back when facing down the Protectorate. That's a rarity money cannot buy.
That would be nice.
And there's always the moral incentive to consider, I suppose. Ending the conflict between Auntie's Choice and the Order means less lives lost. Capital! As I mentioned before, you'll first need to earn an audience with the presiding bishop and our very own chief executive before this plan can go ahead. When it comes to the Order, approach their laureates. They seem to run things. On our side, work with the VPs, improve their opinion of you, and gain their trust. Oh, and you might see about improving your oratory skills in the meantime. Persuasive rhetoric will certainly be valuable during the upcoming negotiations.
We have some things to do before we do that anyway. Private entry. Please enter password. Of course. Messages. I must say, between the Zernium mishandling the rampaging of your beast and the utter pathetic tone with which you address me, I'm most disappointed in your performance. Fear not, the work you have started will continue with or without you. Your name will be read out in the daily demotions. Report for all to hear. Best of luck. First let me express how pleased I am to finally have a scientist like you conducting the research. Certain with your unique talents, advancements in transfusion surgical procedure will be swift. You might have noticed the peculiarities of your work environment. This is all for your safety and that of the research. I would remind you that any documentation you wish for me to see be delivered not to my office nor handled to me in person, but to the location we previously discussed. Fellow Vice President, it's been an arduous road, but I believe I found someone to assist you with your research endeavors. I trust that you won't let this low-cost labor opportunity pass you by. I guess we found what we're looking for.
You cannot be here. My contract stipulates that this lab door remains locked at all times. I am not to be disturbed. Ha! That's funny, considering the heaps of times I've been called such.
I'm here to tell you that your treacherous fiend of a boss is now out of commission, and I'm investigating all of his indiscretions. You wouldn't happen to know about any unsanctioned business dealings, would you?
Ah, I'm afraid I can't help with that. I've only spoken with him once, upon my hiring. Well, yes, but not here or face to face. I was to have all communications sent to a private room at the Best Choice. He held all his business dealings and records therein. I gather he was circumventing intellectual property taxes or some such.
The Best Choice. That's the lounge for VIPs, looking out over the Esplanade, if I'm remembering right. We might pay it a visit.
This is actually an experimental operation with high import. Do pay it some respect, will you?
Well, I tried to.
Is our guiding principle. Enjoy an artificially enhanced existence through the conspicuous consumption of unavoidable embedded chemicals with Auntie's choice.
Horse comestibles! Horse comestibles! We're literally
Nope.
giving them away!
Other way. Go here first.
Time to recognize the cowardly noble with my latest starting with Dr. Giles Rasmussen, demoted from his unnamed and clearly unnamed position.
I hear about these tubes, like why?
Welcome to your new role as site sanitation manager.
Yeah, this is about what I expected.
Brief look, long-running course show a clear pattern. Really been siphoning money directly from. Oh shit. Whoops. Yes, we'll do that again, but a bit carefully.
Whatever they're working on, don't worry about it.
Yes,
Yes, I understand I may look in charge, but I'm just minding the desk for our esteemed director. The real talent, as they say.
I need to get a message on the broadcast, urgently. Can you help with that?
Not unless you need any clever pointers on enunciation. Our director, however, is in one of the recording booths, through the door to your left. You'll want to speak with her.
Welcome to Wireless Free Arcadia Studios. Thessaly Falk, Director of Talent Placation and General Runnings. Here to contract a recording or in the market for autographs?
Holt sent me to speak with you. I got a message I'd like to send out over the wireless. Trust me, this is one all the folk in Auntie's Choice won't want to miss.
Is that so? Well, the more riveting the content, the larger our commissions. However, as you're without an appointment and I'm quite busy, I'm afraid I've only time to record one take. Do make it count. Shall we begin?
Glad we're in agreement. I'm here to expose the truth about a prominent vice president. His business dealings are not what they seem.
That's quite the bold claim. Now remember to speak into the mic, dear. Enunciate clearly but with feeling. Inhabit the words. Be the message. Joining us today in the studio is a very special guest and rare specimen indeed, a grafted soldier. And one who alleges that one of Auntie's own vice presidents is not who he seems. Take it away.
Inez Seelong speaking. I got intel on an illegal program led by Vice President of Experimental Operations, Willard Conan. Folk aplenty suffered because of it.
Some say there cannot be success without suffering. It's more or less standard operating procedure, isn't it? Unless you're leaving out any gory details? Some within our organization might call that frugal, thrifty even. That is, why waste a perfectly good resource when no one else has use for it?
These are human beings I'm speaking of, not barrels of void damn uranium. They were good folk who didn't know what they were signing up for. They deserved better. But if that ain't incriminating enough for you, Willard had himself some money problems, which ain't too distant from a grave sin far as Auntie's concerned.
Ah, now we're getting somewhere. Tell me, did he squander all his bits on drink? Bet it all on a tarmac and cheese rebranding? Or worse? Thoroughly recount every lurid detail?
We found a ledger of his with an admission of stealing directly from Auntie and placing those funds in an account for an enterprise I don't recognize. Damning if you ask me.
So he admitted outright that he stole. How do you know this enterprise wasn't also in Auntie's name?
Well, he said he transferred the money. Covertly or something like. But if it was in Auntie's name, why would he try and hide it?
You're very new to this kind of business, aren't you? Your disclosure wasn't as iniquitous or revelatory as you implied. The only thing shocking was your abundant naivete.
Commander, I don't think we did enough. Law. I know we ain't gonna know for sure until the broadcast airs, but we ought to go.
Oh, Inez, almost forgot. We have a bit of a goodie bag for special guests who visit the studio. You qualify. Do collect it from the front desk on your way out.
We did our best. Oh wait, what? Find evidence. I thought we did. Hang on.
Have time for a chat, Commander? Commander,
You hear my interview over the wireless too? They've been playing it every hour. Part of it, anyway. I really thought I'd be heard out, telling folk about Willard and his damned awful dealings. Instead, Thessaly herself thought to mock me. I can't reckon with it. To you, maybe. But to a lot of folks, she tells it like it is. And they listen. I ain't meaning to say I don't appreciate your help, Commander. I do. Guess I was just hoping that we'd have done enough to keep more folk from getting hurt. Like Ortiz did. This was my fight. The blame lays with me, if it's to lay with anyone. I still feel like a fool sometimes. I spent so much law-damn time begging to be validated by Auntie's Choice and her leaders. Like I was worth only what they thought of me. I really believed when I ended my contract that a better life was possible. I know the truth about Auntie's Choice now. And I know who I am. So yeah, a better life is possible. Just not at someone else's mercy. I ain't gonna let myself or anyone else be led into the same trap they set for us. Ever again. I will, Commander. Anyhow, that's enough sorting my thoughts for the moment. We got a galaxy to save.